dense jungle, towering ferns, the air thick, heavy, prehistoric. Dr. Alan Grant, world-renowned paleontologist, wiped sweat from his brow. He couldn't believe his eyes. A brachiosaurus, long thought extinct, munched placidly on treetops. It was enormous, magnificent, the lost world found. The island, shrouded in mystery, had appeared on satellite images only a year ago. A team of scientists, handpicked for their expertise, was assembled for this expedition. Their mission to document and study this impossible anomaly. The implications were staggering. Living proof of a past thought lost forever. As Grant ventured deeper, he encountered a herd of triceratops, their horns scraping the sky. A pack of velociraptors, sleek and deadly, stalked through the undergrowth. This wasn't just an island. It was a time capsule, harboring creatures lost for millions of years. But Grant couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. There was a tension in the air, a primal fear that echoed through the jungle. As dusk settled, casting long shadows, a low rumble shook the ground. Grant looked skyward, a knot of dread forming in his stomach. The sky, once clear, was now filled with strange, pulsating lights, descending rapidly towards the island. The ground trembled again, this time with more force. The jungle went silent, save for the rustle of leaves in the unnatural wind. Whatever those lights were, they didn't bode well. The lights resolved themselves into sleek metallic craft, their undersides glowing an eerie green. They descended in silence, an ominous counterpoint to the panicked shrieks of the dinosaurs. The air crackled with energy, raising goosebumps on Grant's arms. This was no scientific expedition, this was an invasion. Grant watched in disbelief as the first craft landed with a hiss of hydraulics. A ramp extended, disgorging creatures that could only be described as extraterrestrial. Tall, with chitinous exoskeletons and multifaceted eyes, they moved with an unsettling fluidity. They were armed, their weapons humming softly, emitting an ethereal blue glow. Chaos erupted. The dinosaurs, startled by the arrival of these strange beings, reacted with instinctive aggression. A stegosaurus, its plates flared in warning, charged headfirst into one of the alien soldiers. The impact was explosive, shaking the ground, but the alien, seemingly unharmed, retaliated with a blast of energy, vaporizing the stegosaurus instantly. The jungle, once teeming with life, became a battleground, the air filled with the stench of ozone and the guttural roars of dinosaurs clashing with the high-pitched shrieks of the aliens. Grant, caught in the crossfire, knew he had to find a way to survive this nightmare. He had stumbled onto a secret that had slumbered for eons, a secret that had just been awakened with terrifying consequences. Grant ran. He dodged snapping jaws and searing energy blasts, his heart pounding in his chest. The jungle floor was littered with the bodies of dinosaurs and aliens, a gruesome testament to the ferocity of the battle raging around him. He had to find a way to escape, to warn the world about this unbelievable threat. He stumbled upon a group of survivors huddled in the hollow of a giant redwood. There was Sarah Harding, the paleobotanist, her face streaked with dirt and fear. She was with Dr. Malcolm, the mathematician, his usual cynicism replaced by a grim acceptance of their predicament. They were all that remained of the expedition team. Suddenly the ground shook violently. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, the apex predator of this lost world, emerged from the jungle, its roars echoing through the devastated landscape. It was a horrifyingly magnificent creature, its scales gleaming like obsidian in the flickering light of burning trees. But it was wounded, its flanks scored with energy burns, its eyes burning with rage and fear. The aliens, emboldened by their superior firepower, surrounded the Rex, their weapons trained on the wounded giant. Grant watched in horror as the Rex, its strength finally failing, collapsed under a barrage of energy blasts. The aliens had claimed their victory, but at a terrible cost. They had awakened a force far more ancient and powerful than they could have imagined. The death of the Rex seemed to galvanize the remaining dinosaurs. They fought back with the fury of creatures defending their last refuge. Grant, Sarah, and Malcolm, trapped in the ruins of their camp, found themselves caught between two warring armies. A pack of velociraptors, led by a particularly cunning alpha with a scarred snout, used the chaos to their advantage. They were lightning fast, weaving through the legs of the battling behemoths, their claws and teeth ripping and tearing. Grant realized with chilling clarity that the Raptors were intelligent, adapting their tactics to exploit the weaknesses of their new enemies. The aliens, used to fighting on their terms, were caught off guard by the ferocity and cunning of the Raptors. Grant watched in grim fascination as the Raptors, using hit-and-run tactics, picked off the aliens one by one. They were outmatched, outgunned, but they were far from outclassed. The tide of the battle seemed to be turning. The dinosaurs, fueled by primal rage and a desperate will to survive, were pushing back against the invaders. But Grant knew it wouldn't be enough. The aliens were too advanced. Their weapons too powerful. They needed a miracle, a weapon of their own. And as if on cue, Dr. Malcolm, his eyes gleaming with a strange light, declared, "I think I know just the thing." Section 5. An Uneasy Alliance. Dr. Malcolm, ever the pragmatist, had devised a desperate plan. He had observed that the alien weapons were susceptible to electromagnetic pulses. He believed that if they could generate a powerful enough EMP, they could disable the alien weaponry, giving the dinosaurs a fighting chance. But there was a problem. The only power source capable of generating such a pulse was the crashed alien spacecraft, and getting close to it, with the battle raging around them, seemed like suicide. That's when Sarah suggested the unthinkable, an alliance. "The Raptors," she said, her voice tight with tension. "They're intelligent, adaptable. We can use their knowledge of the island, their speed and agility to get us to the spacecraft." Grant was skeptical. Trusting their lives to creatures that would gladly tear them to shreds seemed insane. But as Malcolm pointed out, they were out of options. It was a long shot, a gamble with their lives, but it was their only hope. Using a combination of hand signals and carefully placed distractions, they managed to convey their intentions to the Alpha Raptor. The creature, its intelligent eyes studying them with chilling intensity, seemed to understand. It let out a series of chirps and barks, calling its pack to its side. An uneasy alliance was formed, two vastly different species united by a common enemy. The journey to the crash site was fraught with danger. They dodged stampeding dinosaurs and strafing alien fire, the Raptors proving to be surprisingly adept at navigating the chaos. Grant, his heart hammering in his chest, couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into a trap. They finally reached the crash site, a scene of utter devastation. The alien craft lay embedded in the earth, its once sleek hull twisted and broken. Smoke billowed from the wreckage, casting an eerie glow over the surrounding jungle. The air crackled with static electricity, making the hairs on Grant's arms stand on end. As they approached the craft, the Raptors suddenly turned on them. The Alpha, its eyes gleaming with predatory hunger, let out a piercing shriek, and the pack attacked. Grant, caught off guard, barely had time to react before he was tackled to the ground, the Alpha's fetid breath hot on his face. Sarah, armed with a flare gun, managed to drive the pack back, but not before Malcolm was seriously wounded. As they huddled behind the wreckage of the alien craft, Grant felt a wave of despair wash over him. They had been betrayed, their trust repaid with violence. They were doomed. But as the Raptors circled, preparing for the kill, a low, guttural growl echoed through the jungle. It was a sound that sent shivers down Grant's spine, a sound that spoke of unimaginable power and ancient fury. The Raptors, sensing the danger, hesitated, their predatory instincts screaming at them to flee. Out of the smoke and fire emerged a creature that defied belief. It was a Spinosaurus, even larger and more terrifying than the Tyrannosaurus. Its massive sail, a crown of bone and flesh, sliced through the air as it stalked towards the terrified Raptors. Its jaws, lined with razor-sharp teeth, opened in a silent roar. The Raptors, realizing they were outmatched, scattered into the jungle. But the Spinosaurus, its eyes fixed on the Alpha, gave chase. It moved with surprising speed for its size, its powerful legs propelling its massive bulk across the uneven terrain. Grant, Sarah, and the wounded Malcolm watched in stunned silence as the prehistoric drama unfolded before them. The Spinosaurus cornered the Alpha Raptor at the edge of a ravine. The Raptor, its back to the precipice, hissed and snarled, its claws bared in defiance. But it was a futile gesture. The Spinosaurus lunged, its jaws closing around the Raptor's neck with bone-crunching finality. The remaining Raptors, sensing the death of their leader, melted away into the jungle, leaving Grant, Sarah, and Malcolm alone with the victor. The Spinosaurus, its jaws still dripping with the Raptor's blood, turned its baleful gaze upon them. Grant braced himself for the final attack, accepting his fate. But instead of attacking, the Spinosaurus did something unexpected. It lowered its head, its massive eyes seeming to study them with a strange intelligence. Then, with a low growl that seemed almost mournful, it turned and lumbered away into the jungle, leaving them to ponder the mysteries of this lost world. With the Spinosaurus gone, Grant, Sarah, and Malcolm were finally able to focus on their escape. Malcolm, though weak from his wounds, managed to jury-rig the alien power source to generate a massive EMP. The pulse surged through the island, disabling the alien weaponry and throwing their invasion into chaos. Seizing their chance, they made their way to the remaining escape pod, the ground littered with the deactivated bodies of alien soldiers and the carcasses of fallen dinosaurs. The air crackled with residual energy. the jungle eerily silent save for the crackle of flames and the distant roars of disoriented dinosaurs. As they launched into the sky, leaving the island behind, Grant couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. They had witnessed wonders beyond imagination, encountered creatures thought lost to time, but they had also witnessed the terrible cost of progress, the destructive power of unchecked ambition. As they soared above the clouds, the island shrinking into the distance, Grant looked back one last time at the lost world. He had gone in search of answers, but he had found something far more profound. He had found a reminder of the fragility of life, the delicate balance of nature, and the terrible responsibility that came with knowledge. He had escaped extinction, but the memory of the island and the creatures that called it home would stay with him forever. A reminder that the past, however distant, was never truly gone, and sometimes it was best left undisturbed. The escape pods splashed down in the Pacific, miles from where they were supposed to land. They were rescued by a fishing vessel, their story met with disbelief and skepticism. The world, consumed by its own problems, was in no mood for tales of dinosaurs and alien invasions. In the aftermath, Grant, Sarah, and Malcolm returned to their lives, forever changed by their experience. They carried the weight of their knowledge, the burden of a secret too incredible to share. The island was declared a no-fly zone, a quarantined area, its existence erased from maps and satellite images. The world moved on, oblivious to the horrors that had transpired on that remote island. But Grant knew the truth. The aliens, though defeated, were not gone. He had seen the look in their multifaceted eyes, the cold, calculating intelligence that spoke of a threat far greater than they could imagine. And then there were the dinosaurs. What would become of them now, trapped on that sinking island, their world shrinking with each passing day? Would they adapt, evolve, find a way to survive? Or would they, as they had done millions of years before, vanish from the face of the earth, taking their secrets with them? As Grant looked out at the setting sun, painting the sky in hues of blood orange and fiery red, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was not the end. It was merely the beginning. A new chapter in the never-ending story of survival, of predator and prey, of the ancient and the unknown. And somewhere on that lost island, a new threat, a new hope was stirring. The end?